Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. We need an intro because that's just like
No,
pathetic.
I think I like it when it's random because everyone is guessing the whole time. They're like,
What are they going to say?
what are they actually going
How
to
are they
say?
going to welcome us?
Well, good morning.
Good morning, everybody, or whatever time you're listening.
Could
Hello.
this be our last podcast recorded in this apartment?
I think that's a very high probability. We are moving out in 4 days.
We're currently packing now, and it's the best news ever. I think you should move over a
We've
little
been
bit.
packing for a while, but we're coming to the tail end of it. We're surrounded in boxes. A lot of it's already in storage.
I tell you what, a
ready to get
messy
out.
house leads to an anxious mind,
Oh.
I think. Like looking
Well,
around.
Feel free to do some cleaning.
I'm just going to lay some ground rules. As much as I know you want to hug me, maybe keep a little bit of space so then when the AI editing does its thing, it can chop us off.
Oh, okay.
But then also like we want to stay in the square.
Am I in the right position?
You're in the
Rocky?
best position. Guys, podcasting doesn't come naturally. It's hard, isn't it? Logistics, when you think about post-production, I'm thinking about what's going to be easiest. And as much as I would love you to have your arm around me.
You told me to get closer.
Well, I did. I just meant like in the square. And I was trying to say that in a polite way.
Okay.
But here we are. We've got it nailed now. So what's been happening in the last week?
Oh, we've been touring again. So on the road, an absolute whirlwind again.
Yeah.
Where were we this time?
Columbus, Ohio is where we kicked things off, which was it like an 8-hour drive? I can't even remember.
It's a long way.
6-hour drive.
Columbus and then Chicago.
Chicago
And
was
then-
fun. We got a day off in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun.
Chicago is probably my favorite city in America, which I was not expecting to say because on the internet you see it's like the most dangerous city in America. There's huge murders, there's huge crime. But our experience was very different. Like
Very clean.
very clean.
I didn't see
Didn't see much homelessness.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Lots to do.
It's like New York,
Mini New York.
but I found
Less
it was-
smelly.
less smelly for sure. But because it wasn't so compact, you could actually like step back and appreciate the architecture in the buildings. And we did an architecture cruise, which was random. A guy that you guys met at the radio station, his sister worked there, and he was like,
Got us a couple tickets.
yeah, got us a couple of tickets, highly recommended it, and we did it, and it was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very relaxing. It's really nice being on the water. It reminded me of Brisbane.
Very much of Brisbane. Rip a day.
I'm like, this is what Brisbane's going to be like in 10, 15 years.
Yes, very soon. Get your property in Brisbane, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to
we
be the
should
next
get some
Chicago.
property.
We should.
Take
we
our own
should.
advice on that.
But how was the tour overall?
It was great. It was exhausting. Like yesterday, I felt like I had been drinking like for 2 days straight.
Makes you question, is it a hangover from the alcohol or is it from the late night?
Yeah, I'd say both.
Mm.
But definitely late nights and being tired is like being drunk. That's why you shouldn't drive tired because it's literally scientists say that it is like being drunk.
Wowee. Blurry vision.
Yeah. So I was feeling like death yesterday. And then again this morning because I had to be up at 6:30 for morning
Some
TV, which is great. I always say yes to those kind of opportunities.
That was for your country album, not for for country
Yeah,
career,
for
not for
country.
Shepherd. It was for Amy Shepherd. And how was it? What song did you sing?
It was great. I did Small Town Rumours, which is the single here. And
It's doing well.
yeah,
It's done really well.
it's building. It's building.
Building. And you're
Mm.
going back. You've got some shows in Australia. And
Yes.
well, you got CMC Fest. That's announced now.
Rocks, which is very exciting.
For those who don't know what CMC Rocks is,
It's the biggest festival in Australia at the moment, and it's a country music festival in Ipswich, which is outside of Brisbane. And it's a pretty incredible festival. Thomas Rhett is coming out this year, amongst some other big names. So check out the lineup. I am going to be there 2 days. It's probably not announced, but anyway, I'm doing the Songwriters Tent, I think, on the Saturday, performing on the Friday, something like that. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. My schedule's all over the place.
yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Yeah, pretty keen for that. And yeah, excited just to like spend some time in Australia now.
I'm really pumped to get back. I feel
Yeah.
like when you know you're going back, you start wishing it back, which isn't maybe the right thing to do, but
Grass is always greener.
I'm very excited to not tip people. Like
Yeah.
we had, was it last night or was it even just then
Just
for breakfast.
then.
You have to tip someone, and then you still got to take your own cutlery and bowls and stuff to the bin. I'm like,
I know.
what have I just tipped you for?
It's ridiculous.
We've probably spoken about tipping a heap on here, but it is obscene. There was like in Chicago where we had that dinner at Umo.
Yeah.
That place was insane, and like the staff went above and beyond. Those people, I would be like, yeah, you deserve a tip. But
Yeah.
I'd say 99% of the time when we're tipping people, I walk away going, why?
Yeah.
Why did I need to tip?
So
Your
true.
service was terrible.
Like nothing special you bought
Yeah,
me
you
my
didn't
meal.
do anything apart from what back in Australia we would consider to be the job. So
Yeah, pretty wild.
it's wild. Well, yeah. What else has been happening? I feel let me just check. I always like checking my photos as like a good way to suss out how things went. Oh, what about the rats in Chicago?
Oh my God.
They were monster.
The rats were the size of cats.
Like dash hounds. Like mini
And like
dash
waddling. Disgusting.
Big, gross
They're like, oh,
thing.
Chicago is so clean, except for the rats. I've really decided that I don't like rodents.
Very much. I used to have a pet rat called
Disgusting.
Sophia.
It's disgusting.
Sophia Loren. And it was a black, or it was like a white rat, but it had like a black head and a black stripe down its back. But the rest of the body of it was white. It was awesome.
Ew.
She was awesome. And then she got cancer and died.
Oh.
That was unfortunate. We saw the bean. That was pretty cool. The bean in Chicago, which is the big silver thing for those who haven't been to Chicago. I'm showing for those who are watching it. There's a little photo there of us all in front of the bean. Check that one out. It's pretty cool.
But I would say we've seen most of America now.
We've definitely done a lot, is what I would like to add. And I am mentally so tired. Just from I think the most tiring part is the lack of routine. Like your body can never just like get into a routine, and the point of routine is you don't have to think about it, it just happens.
Yeah.
Whereas we've had to think about everything because we're either in a new place, so it's like, where do we get food, or where do we have to be? What time's load in? What time's load out? Have we got everything? There's 8 people touring and traveling, so what foods can we eat that everyone can eat? Like it's just a lot of thinking.
And quite often you don't end up eating a meal until
yeah, and you get
3
hangry,
p.m.
and then you go to bed at 2 p.m.
2 a.m.
Sorry, yeah. I wish it was 2 p.m. And you're up early again, so it's like pretty stressful on the body. I feel sorry for George and Liam. So George flew out to Los Angeles yesterday morning. His daughter's coming over. They're having the week in LA, so like Disneyland, and then I think they're going to Vegas for a night or two.
Yeah.
I think maybe not.
It's fun. And Liam's doing
In his working
to
in
Canada.
Canada, yeah, and they both went to the airport off like 2 hours sleep, which would not have been fun at all. We decided to sleep. What did we do yesterday? Football. Oh, let me give you guys a fantasy football update because I'm sure people are interested about this. Let me just check my score again.
Can you explain just really briefly what fantasy football is? Because watching football once a week isn't enough.
It's just definitely not enough. So fantasy football essentially in our league, ours is a keeper league, which I'm not going to go into and bore people, but essentially we've got 14 blokes in a group, which means there's 14 teams, which on last year we had 10, so there was more players to choose from should you get injuries. Now if you get an injury, you're screwed. But essentially you choose your players like a draft. So we had 14 blokes around at Ryan's, and there's a draft order. So it's all done through ESPN, and I was draft pick 3, which was awesome. I was early on, and I got to get a good pick. But then the draft goes through, and then it'll reverse. So the second round, I was the third last pick. And you get to pick players, and you're just watching all of these good players that you wanted to have on your team get picked up. Am I going too much?
Yeah, just like.
All right. Well, essentially, then you pick
pick
players, and each player is graded each week based on like touchdown, meters gained, tackles, whatever it is, and you get their points, and it gives you a total point. So, I wasn't happy with my team. I got a lot of players that I had last year, and anyway, I won last week, smoked it.
How
and
do you win? Like, what's the rule?
Well, by your players playing well. So that's what I was just saying. So they're playing the game, and they're playing real football, but they're on my fantasy team, and depending on how well they play, you get points for it on your fantasy team. So I have ended up, I'm at a 94% chance of winning, which pretty much I've won. My competitor has 2 players
But
playing
can
in Monday
but
Night
you
Football.
can choose from like different teams to make your own team.
Yeah. But once you've got the players, it's like you've got them for the season pretty much, because unless you want to do trades, like it's like football, you can do trades, you can have players that are injured. The only problem is with injuries now is there's not enough good players running around because there's 14 people in our league. Anyway, it's
Okay,
good
so you've
fun.
been doing
It
that.
makes you
How
want
are
to
you gonna
watch
keep
football.
that up when you go back to Australia?
Well, simple.
How
You
are you
just,
gonna watch
I
this
just,
football?
I watch sport all the time, and like what I love about sport is the business of sport. So I'm always reading about like contracts and what's happening with the negotiations. And the best thing about American sport is they give you like there's whole websites where you can track it. In Australia, they don't really give you the contract breakdowns of the sports. So like it's a lot of speculation.
as
So it's not as
transparent.
it's not as interesting for me to follow, because there's shows on Amazon like All or Nothing and stuff where you get to go behind the business of sport, which I love. It's like, who are they going to draft? How much do they have in their salary cap? What's the guaranteed contract? What happens
Yeah.
if they're injured?
I like seeing their wives and like what they go through as couples to
Yeah.
like make the dream happen.
Yeah.
And the show on Netflix, Quarterback, was really good.
Yeah,
for that.
and
You
Receiver
got
this
to know
season.
the partners and all the sacrifices they've had to make as well.
Maybe you guys should make a show for Shepherd with the partners called
On the Road Again.
On the Road Again. That could be one. Or Band in a Box. Something like that. That would be
Sounds
cool.
about right.
If you guys want to see that, comment below or do something like that, and we'll see what happens. But that's essentially fantasy football. I gave it a poor rundown because I haven't actually had to explain it to anyone yet. I just sort of have learned.
I still don't quite understand, but that's for another day.
You hit me with some questions. I'm sure there's questions that everyone's got.
I think I get it. So if your quarterback, they make touchdowns.
They can, yeah.
If
But they
your
also
quarterback
could
makes a
pass it.
touchdown, you get 5 points, for example.
Yeah, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
And if they run a
And you
yard.
can choose players from different teams, so you just get points for what they actually do on the field.
Yeah.
Got it.
So like I have Brock Purdy as my quarterback. He went to the Super Bowl last year. He has a really good team around him. He personally isn't very good for fantasy because he just like has a good team, so he doesn't have to do too much.
Got it.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on. Moving on.
So we're going to Hawaii, guys.
On Saturday.
Yes. Every time I say it, I get a little butterfly in my tummy.
Not bad.
It's so exciting. I love Hawaii.
What are you most excited about for Hawaii?
Just to like have a 4-day holiday, just a break, just to be near the ocean, try some surfing.
We got you up
eat
last
some
time.
seafood.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, if you've been to Hawaii, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's bliss. It's heaven. Like, just leave me there. That's where I will.
We will leave her there then. I'll pick you up in January when I'm back. February. March. Whenever I'm
it's
back.
one of my favorite places on earth. It's just like sunshine,
Surf.
good times.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
there's something for everyone. And it's very chilled out.
Yeah.
Very, very chilled out. So
It's chill because it has been hectic, and we're going into another tour, so there's no slowing down anytime soon. But I'm going to cherish those 4 days in Hawaii, and be sure to follow along on our social media. I'm sure we'll be posting as we always do.
Oh, for certain. What have we got for Reddit this week? I'm very curious to see what you've whipped up here. Been blowing up the airwaves, Reddit. That's photos. That's not Reddit.
Give a screenshot.
Oh, cool.
Okay, this is the headline. I found my friend's bra in my husband's car. Could it be anything other than cheating?
Oh.
It's undoubtedly hers. I was actually the one that recommended this brand, and she showed me the bras she got down, and we got down to the specifics. I'm shocked to say the least. What reason other than cheating could it be? Or maybe it's some strange circumstances that happened. I never thought my husband would be the type of person to cheat on me, much less with a friend of mine, specifically with her. To my knowledge, they aren't even spending time together. The only time really my husband is out of the house is when he goes to the gym. This doesn't sit well with me, but maybe I want to believe there's a reason. I don't know.
Thoughts?
I think he's cheating on her.
Wow.
Why else would your friend's bra be in your husband's car?
Well, I feel like we need to play Inspector Morse here. And you need to, one, it's an assumption. There's no proof that it actually
Unless,
is the
like,
bra.
he
So let's
picked
start
her up
there.
from the gym and the bra fell out of her gym bag.
But then it's like, okay, they weren't spending time together. So yes, but let's confirm it is the bra, because I do know that lingerie companies make more than one bra.
Right.
You know?
But it was her size and the bra that she recommended. Like
I
the
know,
style
but
she
it's
knows she
still like she's jumping to conclusion before the first one's ticked off. So let's confirm that.
Okay.
Let's ask your friend, hey, I want to see a bra. That's weird, isn't it?
That's weird.
Okay. Well, it's very easy to jump to conclusions, but I do believe that he's definitely banging her friend. But how
Or he's
wild
banging
is
someone.
that?
Why is there a bra?
Like how wild? That's like you banging Brad,
Someone said,
or like
take a picture of the bra and send it in a group chat and say, hey, I think I found your bra in my husband's car. This yours? See what happens.
that's a brilliant idea.
It's extreme, but I like it.
Well, there's no really other
You
way
have to
to
be
handle
very
it.
confident that it's hers because that's embarrassing if it's not.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Like she might send a photo of her other bra and be like, no, I've got mine here.
And then you've just ruined a friendship potentially. I don't know how I would handle that. Let's just hope your bra isn't in any of my buddies.
You got to bring it up with the husband first, I think. Corner him.
What would you guys do?
Burn that mother.
Comment below if you're watching on YouTube or on Patreon. Let us know. I would love to hear what you guys would do because
I don't know what you do in that situation. I think you just have to confront him, catch him off guard, and then after that, confront the friend. Quotation marks friend.
fuck, she'd be running down to Target to get a new one very quickly, wouldn't she? Just be like, all right, let's get it.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's wild. That is absolutely wild. I don't know. Well, on that note,
We've got a lot of packing to do.
we're trying to decide to get new iPhones. Haven't had an update for about 3 or 4 years. We're a bit behind on the iPhones, but I feel like we're ready.
Lockie's very keen on this iPhone.
I am. I'm ready for something new.
I didn't watch the update, so I don't know what's very exciting.
I think it's
about this one.
fantastic for photos, audios, podcast. There's a lot of cool things that work well for what I need.
Great.
And so and also mine's just like 4 years old. So I feel like,
Well, I'm excited to try yours, and then I'll get one too.
yeah, what
If
color?
I'm lucky. My birthday's coming up.
Oh, well, that's other news that we didn't talk about. We're going to be in Hawaii for your birthday.
Yeah, I don't want to have a birthday anymore.
Yeah, you sort of get, after 27, you're like, all right, we
Yeah,
can
that's
stop now.
enough.
There was a chick behind us at dinner last night. I don't know if you were overhearing that conversation.
Wish I was.
I want to be 30 forever. I'm going to be 30 forever. I'm like, are you delusional? Like, or is there some like,
Yeah. You can't
weird
stop it, so you might as well embrace it.
yeah.
I'm turning 34.
You are
Wild.
indeed. Oh, Cougs. 34 next year.
Early next year.
When I'm on my run, and
Do you feel good that someone goes before you? You're like,
I actually don't think about age. I don't really care. In my head, and I know a lot of people probably feel the same way. It's like I still feel like I'm 18 and I'm capable to do everything I once did.
I feel like that's the thing with age. That's the scary thing.
But I think eventually you start realizing your body can't do it. I'm not at that point where my body hasn't told me that yet.
Yeah.
Thankfully. Touch wood.
That's good.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, remember, like, share, subscribe. If you aren't in Amy's Patreon, jump on over in there. She does her motivational daily affirmations that make you feel good. Feeling
Plus
good
you
leads
get
to
the,
looking good.
Visuals of this first. So, on that
Yes, you
note,
do. Yes, you do. All right, over and out. Hooroo.
Hey, Roo.